Hey guys,
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer is Fun, a summer house podcast. Woo! We're in season 5. I think it's episode 5.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God.
rolling.
We're like almost halfway. I think what? It's like 16? 6
I
weeks.
don't.
Well,
Well, I
16
don't know how
episodes.
many episodes they're gonna do, but this apparently will be the largest order of episodes.
They usually have like 10 to 14, I feel
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I'm gonna guess
16.
we're gonna be about 16. Yeah.
Nice. I always really like Summer House though because it's kind of short. Whereas Vanderpump never
It's
fucking
short and
ends.
sweet.
Yeah.
They don't drag it out.
A lot of it is just parties. Whatever. You guys will hear about it. Anyway, what do you need to know about us? You need to know that we are on the A&M Podcast Network. We have other fun shows, one of which is our Vanderpump one. It's about the pasta. Super fun. I think season 3 has not dropped yet, but it will. We're recording them. Super fun. So if you want them early, join
by
our
now
Patreon.
it has. It's dropping this week. It starts up again.
God. Oh my God, guys, welcome back to season 3. This is fun. Also, One Season Wonders, the show where Meredith and I listen to or watch a show that only has one season and we talk about it. Which we will be doing again. Do not fret. We know I don't think anyone's really listened to our NYC prep, but it was fun to do.
I enjoyed it.
We're just in it for ourselves, honestly. But please rate, subscribe, review this podcast. We don't have any new reviews or rating. No, I think we have 3 ratings now, all 5 stars. So thank you so much. And we have our 2 5-star reviews. Also follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I'm still posting. I posted one of Carl and Paige this week. Neither one of them liked it. I'll keep trying.
That's okay.
And like I said, join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get for $1 a month. You will get access to any episodes that we record early. So right now that's just for Vanderpump, but eventually will be for Summer House. So get on top of it. We've been recording our Vanderpump season 3 one since 2020. A long time into 2020, and they're just dropping now, so people are really missing out on those. Also, you get access to our pre-show where Meredith and I just bond over whatever the fuck we want. It's so fun.
We built our dream house. Our dream reality house this week.
Our winter dream house. And then for $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after show, which is where Meredith and I divulge into any spoilers that we might have. Obviously not for Summer House yet. Eventually for Summer House, we will do that. But we have a ton for Vanderpump, so go check those out. Also, we'll say your name on the podcast. And thank you. So thank you to Jackie, Dustin, Tracy, and Mariah, our faves. Yay. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, I ask you a question for our live show. So since Summer House is live every week, I post and I want your thoughts. And because we only have 2 $5 a month patrons, Jackie and Dustin, we only have their thoughts, which we will share at the end of the episode. So if you want to share your thoughts, that's the way to do it. Also, we'll pick a patron of the episode. Again, our $5 patrons are a couple. So we do a couple of the episodes, which is our podcast parents, Jackie and Dustin. Thank you guys so much.
Snaps for
and
our
I
podcast
promise
parents.
We will get to all of your thoughts. They have so many, and they're literally responding to each other on the thing.
Yes.
It's literally so cute.
Yes.
It's so cute. Okay, so yay. I'm mixing it up. I think this is the first Summer House one where I'm gonna make a little sound.
Open.
Ready, guys? This is my Truly iced tea.
That hits nice.
I
am not drinking. I'm drinking water because I'm very hungover.
This is so I don't have to work out later. So
after your 2-mile walk, 3-mile walk.
Oh, that wasn't even fucking recorded. Everyone go listen to our pre-show. Damn it. Okay, let's get into Summer House. Previously on Summer House, we did drinking games. Steven and Lindsay fought the whole time, but also are kind of okay with each other, and they're going to take the next step. Sad that Sandwich Gate is over. Luke and Hannah fought, and then Sierra didn't really want to deal with that drama. So then Luke realized this, and he apologized to Hannah, and I think he was sincere. And then we had a legit brawl about Hannah not taking out the trash properly. And then Hannah went for Kyle and Amanda's relationship. And then, as if not to make things just sad, Carl's brother passed away. And we didn't even get the story last episode. So now we're going to get the episode. It was the story.
A big cliffhanger. I'm happy they dove into it. I mean, I'm very sad to like hear and listen about it, but I'm happy we got more information.
This episode is dedicated to Curtis, Carl's brother. Yes. What's the last name? Radke. Curtis Radke. R.I.P. Okay, so it's Monday morning. Carl just walked into Lindsay's room and told her, and they just hug about, the sadness.
And it's Lindsay's birthday.
I know. He's secret, like after they're hugging a little bit, Carl goes, "Happy birthday." And I was
in the saddest voice.
Yeah, it was very sad. And so everyone kind of heard Carl crying because he was outside, and I'm sure windows were open or whatever. So Carl goes back outside crying. Everyone else goes outside. They put all their differences away and sit around him.
It was really sweet. It's just like a good support. It was the majority of the house. There were a few people not in there, but
a few people were still sleeping.
People just sitting there and like being with him because there's nothing you can do in that situation.
And they just allowed Carl to kind of like say whatever it was on his mind. So Carl does tell us that his brother was clean for a year. He relapsed last week, and the police were the one that told Carl's mom. He knows that addiction's an illness. And he really wanted to reconnect with his brother. His brother was only 40. And as we know, addiction is definitely very hard to overcome. A lot of people don't even make it to 40. So Carl's brother really did.
It was so sweet. Fight. He said like his brother fought hard for 40 years with his demons. And I was like, that's so really puts it in perspective that like Carl's not like mad about what happened. He's just really sad that his brother couldn't overcome it, which I feel like that's the hardest thing is
knowing that they struggled and they didn't overcome it.
Yeah. But now he's like, Carl said he's safe and he's okay. Cause there's like peace knowing they don't have to worry.
Yeah. But Carl I think he needs to just get his emotions together. This is hard too, because he's like trapped in this house with a bunch of people who were literally fighting less than 24 hours ago. So he's just going to go on a really long walk, which like Kyle, I think is his boss. So Kyle should understand. And
absolutely.
Also, mental health in this pandemic is just even worse. So I think this is what I would do. Just a long. He's dealing with
this on a whole other level because of like I feel like the show and the idea of innocence. He has to be trapped in this environment. And in the added of Lindsay's birthday, like he cares about Lindsay so much. I can't imagine like all the things rolling through his head.
Yeah,
on that walk.
Yeah, and I'm sure he doesn't want to make it about him. In any situation, even if it wasn't Lindsay's birthday, like you don't want people just constantly being sad for you. Like that's not a good vibe.
And he like walked off sobbing. It was so sad.
Oh my god, Carl just broke my heart. Hannah acknowledges she's with Paige in her room, and she says she woke up to fight people, but like shit got really real. And I get like it really puts everything in perspective. Kyle tells Sierra in the kitchen because Sierra was one of the stragglers that was sleeping. And then Kyle loses it. He starts crying and he's just like, I'm sad for Carl. Like he's just sad for his friend, which is so cute. And like Lindsay is like so sad, even though it's her birthday. She like knows Carl's brother just died.
I know her and Steven like sit and talk about it. And he's like, happy birthday. And then they like talk about, like what Carl's going through and having to also be the support system for someone who's like sibling or anybody has passed. It's hard to like break that news. So seeing Kyle like tell Sierra, like I've been in a situation not with like death, but where I've had to tell people bad news and it's like awkward.
It is.
And then it's just like you're trying to be so strong for like your like person,
your friend.
Yeah. And like when Sierra hugs Kyle and he's like, I'm not,
he's like, I'm okay. Yeah. And she's like, no. But like, and I get Sierra. She's like, but you're hurting for your friend. Like that hurts. You're still hurting. Too.
Yeah.
The mood's super weird. So Hannah and Luke are going to go, they're talking about going to play some tennis. Paige, unfortunately everyone else still needs to work. So Paige lost her phone. Sierra and Luke aren't speaking. There's still some tension. So
yeah,
Hannah and Luke go to play tennis. He calls her Burn Dog, which again, I was like, God fucking damn, we just can't lose this nickname.
Well, I'm like, these are the signs that like there was nothing happening between you two.
They're working on their boundaries. I think during this tennis match, they are still a little banterish.
Yes.
But it's not the level of flirtiness it was. Like any flirtiness in this, watching it was very strictly platonic.
Because I think since they have spoken about where they're at, the flirtiness isn't getting confused. It's just them being friends and are flirting instead of a potential of something.
Yeah. They're going to try to be friends. The games are over, except for tennis. Okay. So, Kyle has got his lover boy merch on for a meeting that he's about to have. So we need Carl, but we're going to give him a pass because it's a rough day. But Kyle needs to talk about his distribution problems. He's lost $7.5 million because they haven't been able to distribute it. Like the demand's too high for the supply.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Nuts. Also, Kyle said Carl's the one who's like set this meeting up. I cannot imagine being Kyle because it's like, this is the fucking worst time for anything to happen. But then you're like, I'm selfish for even thinking that.
Yeah,
like,
I can't.
But there's there are things, the world is still going on, unfortunately, that like, this sucks.
I know. I would like to say, so apparently for Loverboy, I tried to get the iced teas shipped to us, right? To start the season. Those don't ship. You can get the seltzer shipped. Oh. So I'm going to look into getting that to try it. But I would prefer the iced teas. So I might also wait for them. Also, my roommate and I were like, do we buy Loverboy merch? And then I was like, no, I want to try to make sure I like it first.
I want to try it first.
Yeah.
But I'm in for some merch.
Also, if I'm in New York walking around in Loverboy merch, I might be shot. Like that might be the worst move.
Like,
I do.
You look like a tourist 24/7.
Yeah, the worst. Like I'm just looking for Kyle and Amanda. Like the worst. Okay. Carl's back from his walk. He hugs Danielle. On his walk, he took the time to listen to music that him and his brother used to listen to, which just like my heart is just in a million pieces.
I know. We find out that Carl's mom has been in contact now with someone from his brother's halfway house. Mm-hmm. And the friend told them that Carl's brother was really talking about rebuilding a relationship with Carl, which I think is...
There were literal tears in my eyes at this point. There's some forming right now.
This is just like the sweetest. And he like really... You can just see the love he has in his interview when he talks about like how much he admired his brother. His brother was 5 years older. And he always wanted to be just like him. And I get this. I had a sister who's 4 years old. I do have a sister that's 4 years older. So I got this. Like, you just want to be exactly like your older sibling. But his brother got into drinking and drugs, and Carl knew he didn't want to be like that. And it's so sad because he says he became him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Carl now too, in his realization that he used alcohol for a lot of trauma, he became more sympathetic towards his brother. And I think this is really important because I mean, I've definitely been there. I think before addiction was really a topic to talk about, it was like, why are you addicted? Like, there's more important things. That's so rude. But then once you start,
you're not and I think strong enough to not do it.
That's I think it comes with growth too. Like, like I would watch all the Dr. Phil's and like the whatever, Dr. Phil's a jerk, but all of like the addicted or intervention. I'd be like, oh, these people are nuts. But like, as you get older and you process it, you're like, it's a real disease. Like these people are fighting. Like they can't function without it. And I think it's important to remember that. And then Danielle, oh my God, I love learning about Danielle, but why has it got to be so sad? She's known Carl for 5 years and she knows about her brother's addiction, and Danielle's father actually passed away from addiction. And you would give anything to just have more time with that person.
Yeah, it's interesting. We get Danielle talking about her father's addiction, Luke talking about his. Yeah. I think Danielle, it was really sweet throughout the episode, like everybody talking with him, and it's wild that so many people do struggle with it, even if they are able to keep their heads above the water. There are a lot of people. It seems like Luke's dad is struggling with it, but is
functioning enough. Okay, back to Hannah and Luke. So they say Hannah asks Luke how's Sierra? How are things with Sierra? And Luke's like, are we okay to talk about this? And Hannah says,
Which
yeah,
I think was a good idea.
That was great. That was great on Luke's part. And Hannah 100% is like, yes, I'm okay, which I appreciate Hannah being like, this is the first step for friendship, right? We're going to talk about awkward shit. Hannah says she doesn't think Sierra is very happy with Luke, which is true. And seeing Luke and Hannah together and how Luke spoke to Hannah had a really negative effect on how Sierra feels. And Luke needs to change that. He's got to get on top of it.
Here's the thing is I really appreciate this from Hannah because it's not her fault that Sierra is mad at Luke, but she kind of has a hand in it because of all the drama that's been happening between them.
She knows she had like a part, like her life interfered with Sierra's.
Yeah. And Luke's like, and she does care about Luke as a friend. So I think this looks to me like she's trying to like mend things and that will really help their friendship go well.
Yeah. So Paige then checks in on Amanda and Kyle from the previous night. Amanda has just been thinking about the Carl stuff. It's so sad. We need to focus on supporting Carl. But we're, of course, going to talk about last night. What happened with Hannah. I know.
It's hard whenever Hannah keeps bringing up these low blows about the relationship.
And I know I originally said, like, I think they were both wrong. I think it's very upsetting that Amanda got pulled into that. Again, I'm kind of Paige where I'm like, I see both sides, but I'm not going to pick one. I know Paige picked. I get that. I personally, at this moment, am not picking yet.
But you called it right, because is this the point where Paige says in that interview, like,
she's team Amanda.
I'm on Amanda's side. Don't tell Hannah, though. Because
it's going to cause issues.
Secretly on Amanda's side, but she can't outwardly be.
Yeah. And Amanda basically, because Amanda, again, is loyal beyond her own control. And she says, like, if she chose to be with Kyle and you're her friend, you need to support that. Like, you can't question it, which is kind of a Brittany and Jax move too. Like, my decision, you support it without question. And
Here's the thing is, I think you get to question it, but not so like publicly. Like, that's what's not cool.
I think that Hannah can have her reservation. She doesn't have to like Kyle. She doesn't have to like Kyle and Amanda together. No. But I think if your friend decides to be with the person you don't particularly like or you don't think is good for them, you just gotta be like, well, whatever, you enjoy. But like when
there's a certain level of respect, I think Hannah is not giving the relationship.
You can easily be like, I'm gonna respect it, but like when things go AWOL, I'm not gonna cry about it. Like I'll be there for you, but I'm like,
you can't come to me with every little thing.
Yes, but I do think Hannah's being slightly harsh, but I also think Amanda is like slightly expecting too much. Plus, I think these two are very different girlfriends. I think Amanda's very like, me and my girlfriends will die together. And Hannah's more, I don't want to say dude-ish, but she's like,
but she is. Man, it's like,
we could just like punch each other in the face and get over it. Like,
yes, Amanda and Paige are like slumber party. Let's got like girl talk. Yeah, I agree. And what's interesting though is that
like whatever.
Amanda later in the episode is like willing to apologize for her part, but Hannah is not. So we are also on two different levels of where we think we're wrong.
Yeah. They just have no idea what's happening. Like I said, it's just two different types of girlfriends that they just, I don't know if they're meant to be friends. Personally, I always thought Amanda and Hannah were only friends because of Paige.
I can see that more and more.
I would just like to say 3 girlfriends never works out. Like I cannot stress enough. Also, sorry, I like have thoughts from last season. Paige and Amanda got mad at Hannah for always going out and hanging out. But Hannah never felt left out. She was always like, well, whatever, I'm choosing to go out. But that's, I think, also the difference in girlfriends was these two girls literally have each other. Like they are the group and they're still mad that Hannah doesn't want to be in their group all the time. And Hannah's very like, well, I just do what I want to do. And there's no issue because we're friends. Like it's very dude. One's 100%. All the way boy thinking and the other's all the way girl thinking. Like there's no nice middle, like, I see both sides. It's very just like, I hate it.
Well, what's interesting is then outside, Luke and Hannah talking, that Luke was really upset with the way Kyle spoke to Hannah and that he really wanted to get involved, but knew it would be like blow up and become like a physical thing. And I was not expecting Luke to say this.
It was not handled great by either party, but It just unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm just shocked. I'm kind of shocked that like Luke is on Hannah's side because they just had a fight.
Yeah, but I think Luke's more of like, again, Midwestern culture, like, and this is also very Southern. It's kind of everywhere, but like men just shouldn't really yell at women.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, whatever. I think I'm whatever about it, but Luke might know Hannah's sensitivity to it, right? They were such good friends.
Yeah, that's true. And
Well,
I
whatever.
don't know, this whole fight, this is not going to go well because it's hard to bring it up or like discuss all this stuff because of the Carl stuff happening.
Kyle already uninvited Hannah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I already forgot about
the
that.
wedding. So funny. Okay. So that was all Monday morning. Now we're in finally Monday afternoon. My God. I had written somewhere else like Monday afternoon ? And then it showed like 11:30. And I was like, oh no, I fucked that
Dude,
up.
this episode is all in Monday. It's kind of sad.
It's one whole day. So Luke calls a flower shop and gets lilies for Sierra.
Yes, he's like spelling it out for the card.
Oh my
From
know.
Luke to Sierra.
Okay, and then Aunt Rhonda calls Lindsay, and Lindsay tells Aunt Rhonda about Carl. And then once they move on, Steven comes out and says hi. I hate that they call him Stravy. I want to murder someone. Great. So we're not going to do that. So Steven tells Lindsay and Aunt Rhonda that Lindsay has some plans tonight. She needs to be ready by 7:15 p.m., dress however she wants. And Lindsay's excited because Steven used to surprise Lindsay all the time. She once got a helicopter tour.
This is crazy. I mean, this seems like after she tells us about the helicopter, it seems like the bar is pretty high for this surprise.
Yeah. My only thought was like, okay, we're in a global pandemic, so most things are shut down. And two, I don't know if producers would let them leave, even for an isolated boat ride, right? Like literally you're stuck in this house. So there's only so much you could do.
And
right?
Like, I feel like any of that stuff would have required intense planning way in advance.
Yeah, because you need to make sure that they're safe, but the person running whatever thing you want to do is safe. Plus the camera people. Are we going to put our camera people at risk?
Yeah, I know. I feel like her expectations are really high for this when it's, like you said, we're in the middle of a global pandemic.
She's like not pandemic aware in this house.
No.
But Steven, this is a good gift. He's finishing work early.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was so cute. She was like, oh, you're going to be ready by then? He was like, I'm signing off early for you.
Yeah. So Lindsay says she isn't expecting any grand gestures, but tells someone in the house, she's like, tonight might be like a boat ride. And this is where I was like, boat ride? Girl, you can't leave. What boat? You're going to get a boat, like a blow up boat in the pool.
Yeah, honestly, that's what he should have done that. I think, listen, and not to jump ahead to the date too much, but like for what you can do, I thought he did.
I thought it was fine.
Tried to do something really thoughtful that was pandemic appropriate.
It wasn't a grand gesture, but it was very thoughtful. It was a very like well thought, like he thought through it, right? He didn't just order Chick-fil-A and like, whatever. He thought through whatever. We'll get there. So Carl's sitting. I wrote sitting out. I don't know where he was sitting at. I don't remember.
It's like his balcony.
He's the balcony. You're right.
And Sierra walks up and
gives him a
hug. And she said she wanted to give him space because obviously they're not very close. So it's not like they have this great bond, but she sits with him. And
the part that got me was when he said,
only child.
Oh my God.
I know.
I had to pause. Now. I had to pause and be like, wait a second. Oh no. I'm sorry. I laugh when I feel awkward. Oh, this is just so sad.
It just that's so hard to think about. Like,
oh my God,
he does not. And like his brother has a daughter, remember? Like she's the one who walked his mom down the aisle. So, like that girl, I don't know how old she is, but she now doesn't have her dad. And it doesn't seem like the mom was really involved, but like,
it just hurts me. But Sierra then, we find out more about her. She deals with death all the time because she's an ER nurse.
I see you.
What? Oh yeah. She's like, I see you. I understand.
No, your brother, she's an ICU nurse.
Oh, ICU.
I see you.
I was like, yeah, okay, Meredith. Good. Oh, yeah, she's an ICU nurse. Goodbye. This is the end of my podcasting career. We're going to get a review that's like, Alicia doesn't know who the fuck's here. I was like, yeah, I see you. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so she basically tells Carl, like, there's nothing I can say besides, like, it's, he's not struggling anymore. And I think that brings a lot of, solace to some people. There, and she says there will probably be signs from above that, like, your brother will send to you. And
he said he's been looking all day for them. And I was like, oh, you're just like, he's grasping at anything.
I know. It's so sad. And Sierra says she's never lost a brother or sister, but she's watched it. And sadly, she knows we can't take the pain away, which I think is, to me, if I was witnessing this, like I was a friend of Carl, I would, just because this is the way I am, I would try anything to like get his mind off of it or like make him a little smile or like whatever. But I think Sierra's very well of like, nothing's going to help. Okay. Yes, so we just have to let him kind of deal with it.
It's like, I'm going to help you process this. Not I'm going to try and make this go away.
Feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Steven. A totally different storyline. Steven asked Danielle some help with distracting Lindsay because he has to set something up. She
is the girl for the job. She's ready, which makes me think, what are we setting up? Like, what's going to happen? I can't wait to watch it.
He gets food delivered. Sorry.
It was like in like a basket.
Yeah. I thought it was a picnic at first.
Yeah.
I think it's just fancy. So then we're in the kitchen, Luke and Hannah. They're friends again. They're like talking, which is really awkward because Amanda's watching.
Yeah, you have Amanda and Lindsay sitting at that like dining table. Luke and Hannah shooting the shit in the kitchen. And then I think Paige and Sierra are sitting on the couch. Mm-hmm. And so like Hannah walks over and is like spelling out bitch and like laughing. And Amanda's like rolling her eyes, so annoyed at the kitchen table.
This is where we find out that Hannah wants an apology from Amanda. And Hannah's very like, if you can't apologize, we're going to have an issue. But this is also where we're aware that Amanda is expecting an apology. She's annoyed because she hasn't gotten an apology from Hannah. And we're like, well, this is not going to go well.
Well, Hannah also says at this moment, like, she doesn't think she did anything wrong. And I was like, this is, when they do finally talk, this is not going to go well.
Mm-hmm. So then, Lindsay's so popular. She got another birthday call. And this is where I get it. Because Amanda's like, oh, it's so hard to be popular. And Lindsay's like, no. It's hard when it's like mutual friends with Carl. Because like I have to let them know. Which is true. Like Lindsay would have to be like, heads up.
She's the perfect person. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard. And she acknowledges it's hard to be excited for something when your best friend is just like so sad. And Amanda's very nice. She says, we're all here for Carl. You should enjoy your birthday, your night with Steven.
We can do both.
Which,
too.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's great. Like Amanda's like, we can celebrate you and we're going to be there for Carl. Like you can be there for Carl in your own way, but also just be there for him extra tomorrow. This is also your day. Like,
and we can be there for Carl and
enjoy
love on you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's hard with death because the world really does keep turning even when you feel like it's not. Like that's the hardest thing. But Steven is setting up birthday dinner with Sierra. So
I love that Sierra's helping. She's like, the way she's reacting.
So into it. Yeah, she's so into it.
He's like, I planned this the whole week that we were fighting. And she's like, that's so cute.
Yeah. Since it's their birthday and their 1-year anniversary, he's bringing food from the restaurant that he asked her to be his girlfriend, which is cute. That's a cute, thoughtful thing that a lot of guys don't think about.
Yes. And at first I was like, wait a minute, all the way from New York City. And then I was like, no, we saw it on the show last year. Like they had that date in the Hamptons. So this is something that's super easy, but just super thoughtful. And like, I think this means everything.
Yes. I think this is a situation, again, we're in a global fucking pandemic. Okay.
Yes.
And you're shooting a show where you can't leave. You can only do so fucking much. Right. So he's like, it's going to be the thought that counts. And the thought was, this is a very special place for us. So I'm ordering the food. Yeah. It's like our first date again.
Because, okay, don't you think if he could, he would love to take her to like Paris or do something so grand?
They went to Italy before the pandemic. Like,
yeah, it's not like he's just like copping out being like, sorry, I had to work. I'm going to buy food.
Yeah, I got McDonald's for us. But Lindsay, meanwhile, she's like, I feel like it's a requirement for a significant other, like, to do your job like this. Like, this is literally your job. And I'm like, no, okay.
Okay,
Well,
yes, she should expect
should
these
acknowledge,
things.
yeah.
But like that doesn't mean you don't say thank you and you aren't appreciative just because he's doing what he should. It's like any employee, like the fact that she looks at this also like
It's your job, yeah.
But like
To me,
any employee, you still need to like give them like thanks and like acknowledge what they're doing, even if it's expected of them.
yes. To me, just in general, and I'm sure for you, because we just don't really like our birthdays, all I expect is everyone to just kind of be like, oh, happy birthday, and like maybe a present for my significant other and my parents. Like I don't expect a big fucking deal. So
No.
even if someone was like, hey, we couldn't do a lot because we're in a pandemic, but we went on a first date here, so I got the food and like we're gonna hang out, I'd be like, oh my god,
I would be like, this is above and beyond, because all I
Yeah.
expect honestly is like you to buy into whatever I want to do. Like you just can't
like,
say no. Like
buy me a bottle of wine and I'm satisfied.
honestly. But it's like if I wanted to do something really big and I was like, I want to
would do
a
it.
pool party.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to say yes.
Yeah.
Just show up is my bare minimum.
Also, all we did for Kyle's birthday was a dinner. Just all the roommates were involved. Like this was a moment for Steven to be like, I've been working so hard. This is just us. Which again, I think is great. Like I don't
that's actually what she wanted. She said she wants quality time.
Yeah. And again, all Lindsay gets for her birthday is a dinner. All Kyle got for his birthday was a dinner. Like there's literally no other expectation. So whatever.
And like
also, it's only been a year. It's only been a year.
Whereas Kyle, like for her Amanda for Kyle's birthday, like it had the like big wow factor because the whole house got involved. But like Steven's is sentimental, like we said. This is a sentimental thing. You don't want the whole house involved. Yeah, maybe you get like one person to like serve you or like make it a little like nicer and like bring the food out to you.
But they all set it up.
But
Danielle distracted. Like Kyle and Amanda are engaged. Lindsay and Steven have been dating for 5 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. So now it's Monday night. There are flowers delivered to the house. One's for Lindsay. And one's for Sierra. They're both from Luke.
What?
One's for Lindsay for like happy birthday. The other is for Sierra. And they don't know what to do with it because like Luke's not around. So they just like leave it and like walk away. So Luke will see the
that.
Oh my God. That would be what I would do.
Because it's kind of awkward to be like, oh, he bought Sierra flowers. Okay.
And it's even for Lindsay to be like, thanks for my flowers. And Luke's like, oh, you got them? And it's like,
yeah. It's kind of nice to have him just deliver them.
Yeah. Luke and Carl have a moment on the porch. This is where Luke opens up about his father having substance abuse. And all he really says about it is substance abuse can ruin a family and the lives of the people in the family.
Yeah. Which
I
like
think
you can clearly see like Carl is just devastated.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Lindsay, meanwhile, is in her see-through black dress This is hilarious. This thing is so effing. I don't know how it doesn't move. She has the strongest tape in the world, this girl.
I don't understand this dress. Listen, even outside of the pandemic, I'm not into this type of look, but you do you, girl. It's your birthday. Enjoy it. But like, what do you think is, we're literally staying at home. We have not left this house in forever. Like, what are you thinking is happening for your birthday?
Can I ask you this? If someone was like, and we're in a pandemic at a summer house, right? And it's a Monday night. And someone goes, hey, it's your birthday. Like, wear whatever you want. My ass would show up in sweatpants and be like, this is what I want to wear.
Well,
like,
because it's summer, I feel like I'd be like, I'm going to look cute. So I'm going to put on some jean shorts and a white cotton shirt.
yeah. Or like a t-shirt dress that I just throw on. And I'm like, haha, success.
I'm like, not wearing leggings. Yay.
But this is where you find out Lindsay's trying to get that ring and Danielle thinks it's coming, which is not helping Lindsay's giant head.
I know. Danielle's like, she's definitely not having sex. And it's like, but there's also better be something important happening here. Like, it's a big night. And then,
so listen, would you want to get engaged on your birthday? I feel like I want my birthday to be separate. Yeah, no, please God. Okay, so Luke shows up with his flowers for Lindsay, and they ask him if he thinks the dress is too see-through. And like any guy, he says no. But I'm like, if you could see nipple, I think it's a little too see-through.
Luke gives her like the up and down, and I was just like, I would not even want to ask my guy friends if that question.
No. Don't look at me.
I would be mortified if my guy friends were like looking me up and down in that dress. No, in that dress.
I'd be like, what are you doing? Stop.
Mm-hmm.
So Steven then goes into Danielle's room because he needs to hide Lindsay's present, which is a painting of a picture that he took of her when they were on their trip in Italy. Very thoughtful. This is not for me. I just don't want a painting of myself. I'm not very photogenic.
I agree. But this is really well done. She looks so cute. Again, the sentimental factor because he took the photo. Like a great memory. Yeah. I think this is the cutest gift coming from Steven to Lindsay.
Same.
I don't want this either.
Steven is our age, okay? He's not 34 and he hasn't done this a million times, okay? We have very low expectations and Steven is going above and beyond all of them.
I am like, what? You even got her a present, like not even just like here's some leggings or here's
dinner
something
was enough. Dinner's enough for me. I know you're going to give me a present, a very expensive one.
How long has he been planning this photo thing? Like, think about that, like the time that goes into that.
He had to go give it to someone to get it painted and then shipped back. And it's huge. And Lindsay loves herself. She would love a painting of herself.
This is right up her alley.
This is so perfect. Back to Carl for a second. He calls his mom. They're both crying. He says his heart is in pieces and so is mine. My whole heart, the whole thing.
Oh, I know. And he just talks about how he wants to hug her and be with her. And I bet there's like so much discussion or like thoughts in his mind of like, what do I do right now? And I wonder if he's been talking to production throughout the day too of like, how can I like, what do I do? What do I do next? What can I do?
I'm sure production too is very like, Carl, whatever you want or need to do will like help you get that done, but you have to just make a decision. Which is hard too, because you're like, do I stay with my friends? Because obviously, like, yes, you should go home for your family, but then the chances of you coming back are kind of slim to none. And this is a big source of your income and like,
and like what if your livelihood? I know a lot of funerals were postponed, so like, will the funeral even happen like when you go home, or will it happen when you're out of the house? Like, who knows what's gonna happen?
Will you have to wait 2 weeks then before you see your mom because she's older? Like, should you just stay? Like, there's a lot of things to go into it. And I just feel bad Carl on top of that has to make this decision.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His brother.
So let's get into some drama. So Amanda and Paige are hanging by the pool. And Amanda knows that Hannah's ignoring her. So Paige says they need to address what happens. And I think this is Paige just being like, I don't want to be in the middle of this. Please fucking take care of it.
Yeah, right? But it also is awkward. It is very obvious they're both so ignoring each other. It is uncomfortable. So for the good of the house, let's move this on. I'm
going to give Amanda major props because she's the one that goes into Hannah's room, right? Hannah is so uninterested.
Well, she's the one who starts the conversation, but to even do that in somebody else's room, like it's kind of easier when you're on neutral ground. So like both of you can leave.
And I think it's great Amanda did this so like no one else is involved. Like obviously if they did in a public place, everyone would get involved. This is great. So Amanda says like, this is really weird. And Hannah's like, everything that went down was weird. I didn't know Amanda had that much anger towards me. Like a lot of her.
She says Amanda and Kyle. She's like, I didn't realize you guys had that much anger towards me.
A lot of hurtful things were said. And Amanda's like, yeah, well, you've been attacking my relationship for a long time. And Hannah says she goes out of the way to like that relationship, which to me, I'm just like, you shouldn't have to go out of the way for it. That right there is like,
I know. Rough. I'm like, you're like, you don't need to throw these digs.
Yeah. So then we bring up the comment that that Hannah made about like, it might be okay for Kyle to talk to you that way, but I'm not going to stand for it. And that's when Amanda threw her drink. So I think it was kind of instigated.
Well, her phrasing was like, I only threw the glass because of the comment, which was fucked up. Yeah. And Hannah thinks which was fucked up is tagged on to the glass being thrown and not to the comment. So Hannah's like, I agree. That was fucked up. Throw that.
I was like, I go, oh my God, 2 different books, 2 different pages. Actually, they might be reading the same book, but it's on a different page. Like,
I'm like, and that mix up is just going to actually make this all worse because Hannah's like, great, I'm glad you think it's fucked up. And Amanda's like, no, I'm telling you were fucked up.
Yeah. And so this is when the arguing really starts. Because before it was very just like discussion. Now it's an argument. They cannot agree on what the issue is. Amanda brings up like Luke and Hannah. Oh, because now they're talking about their friendship. And Amanda's like, it's kind of bullshit that Luke and Hannah, you know, you guys made up and you didn't tell me. And Hannah's very much like,
why didn't you just ask me?
Yeah, you could have asked me. Which again, two totally different kinds of girlfriends, right?
Hannah's not the girl to like sit down and like discuss unless I feel like she only does it when she's really in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, or she's asked. Whereas Amanda is like, anytime something happens with Kyle, she will update all her friends immediately. You know, like,
and that's what she wants back too. Which again, like we said, that's not Hannah.
And then Hannah says she's over this toxic friendship, which that was mean. This is where I'm like,
why are
Hannah's not
these digs?
Yeah, Hannah's not trying to make it better. This is again the difference in girlfriends, right? When you fight with your girlfriends, true, loyal, 100% girly girlfriends are the type to be like, we're going to talk this out because we are loyal and loving until the end. Whereas more boy thinking girlfriends are very like, well, if this isn't working, it's not worth my energy. So let's just leave it.
Yeah.
Which is, so now Amanda's offended that Hannah doesn't want to be her friend, but Hannah's just like, this is too much drama because I don't do whatever.
That. Yeah, it's like, we don't need to discuss it. This should just be over. Like, we should be okay. It should just be an apology and move on in Hannah's mind. And Amanda wants to like discuss. Yeah.
Yes. Again, two different types of girlfriends. But then Amanda's like, you're the toxic one, Hannah. And Hannah's like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's me. So let's not be friends, which is just, oh man. So Amanda then is pissed because she stood up for Hannah when everyone had so much shit to talk on her. And Hannah's like, but you threw a drink at me, bitch. And I'm like,
well, Amanda later then says like, well, everyone has stuff against Hannah. I'm like, we're digging ourselves deeper into this fight. We are digging in and saying mean things. And this is not going to help. The whole house can hear them yelling.
I'm going to guess with Amanda, some dude in a car, that's Hannah revving up to fight Amanda. No. Okay. So, with Amanda, she's the type of girlfriend though, if you throw away that friendship, you're not going to get it back. But Hannah's very like, we can still move on from this if we need to in the future, which again, these two shouldn't be friends. They just have different expectations. But it's not because they're toxic. It's just two different types, whatever.
I know they don't. Yeah, their communication isn't in line and like their expectations aren't, which
the expectations.
Fine. You can still be friends with people like that. They'll just never be very close. But this fight is not getting resolved. It's actually getting worse. And like, they keep screaming at each other about their stuff. And Hannah screams like, you threw a drink at me, bitch.
And then Paige walks in and she's like, hey, because she's trying to be Switzerland. And she's like, hey guys, what's going on? And Hannah says, Amanda and Kyle don't like her. So it's over and done with. And then Amanda starts crying because she stuck up for Hannah and Hannah dismissed her. Amanda absolutely loses it. And then Hannah just kind of kicks Amanda out of her room. She's like, get out.
Yeah. And while the fight is happening, we get Danielle saying she's proud of Amanda for standing her ground. Kyle's trying to stay out of it. And Carl's like, no, I literally can't deal with this.
Kyle's like, fuck Hannah. And I'm like, don't get involved.
He starts like talking to Sierra about Hannah and is like, she's fucking crazy. And Sierra's like, I don't want to hear any of this. This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Sierra's like, I'm the newbie. Hannah hasn't done anything to me. I don't really have loyalty towards anyone. So I'm going to do what I need to do for me, which respect, girl.
Everyone gets a clean slate. I'm not involved in your guys' problems.
And that also Paige is like, you both should say you're sorry. And now neither of them are ever going to apologize.
I know. Oh my God.
Also, okay. Most of the house too is like, hi, hello. Carl's brother died. Can we not? This argument honestly should have been Amanda walking in and being like, hey, the argument last night, and I don't think this could have been Amanda or Hannah, but just because Amanda seems to be the bigger person, she would have walked in and been like, hey, a lot of shit has happened. Like, your friendship means a lot to me, and I don't want this to happen. So I'm upset that you said something about my relationship. I shouldn't have thrown the drink, but I really want you to realize that, like, you can't take low blows at my me. Yeah, you can't take low blows. And then Hannah should have been the bigger person on the other side and been like, hey, you're right. I'm very sorry. I will stop. I shouldn't talk shit about this relationship. You're my friend.
Yeah.
Like, a lot's happened, but no.
Yes.
Hannah's got to be like, get out of my room. We're done being friends. And then Amanda, of course, is going to get pissed. And then blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So
It was a
after the
lot.
fight, we get Paige and Amanda talking, and then Hannah is like calling her mom crying. And
Yeah.
Paige and Amanda talk that like Hannah got too big for her britches, and like that Amanda has gone through a lot for like her friendship with Hannah, like got into a lot of fights with Kyle, like has gone through stuff with her, and it's like Amanda's like sad to see this friendship break up. Meanwhile, Hannah's like, they're being
Doesn't
mean
even
to me,
care.
mom.
Listen, before I was really Switzerland. After this conversation, the fact that Amanda took the first step to go in there and try and tell people like, or try and tell Hannah, like, this is why I'm upset. And Hannah just dismissed her. This would piss me off too. I'd be like,
I
fuck you
agree.
then. Like,
Because what you said the conversation should have been was like the best version of it. Obviously, it'll never go like that.
Yeah, it'll
but
never
Amanda
like that, but
basically kind of said like, I threw the drink because of the comment. Like that was fucked up. Like the whole thing. And Hannah was just hearing what she wanted to hear, which was, you throwing the drink is fucked up.
If at that moment Hannah said, yeah, the comment I made was fucked up, you throwing the drink was fucked up, it was a fucked up situation.
Could have moved on.
Both of them are in the fault. They're both like, I'm sorry about the part I had. You were also wrong. You apologize. Great. Right? Like, it could have gone, it was in an okay direction.
Yes.
But I'm excited.
So much better.
I don't know where Hannah and Amanda stand today, but I'm excited to see how Paige and Hannah become friends again.
Well,
not that they're not friends,
but
But Paige has openly now kind of chosen a side.
Yeah, how Paige navigates her two friends not really being friends.
I say that too because we'll get to this, but in the next week, what's her name? Hannah sleeps in Lindsay's bed.
Really?
Yes, I saw Hannah there, and I don't know if it's because like Lindsay's upset, or I think it's because Paige said, we can't sleep together, we're gonna argue or something, and Hannah left. I think Paige has openly taken a side, and I want to see how Hannah and Paige handle it.
Yeah,
I'm excited. 100%. Sorry. Okay. What were we talking about? No one cares about this round. Oh, go ahead.
Lindsay and Danielle are in Lindsay's room. They're just trying to stay out of this fight and like getting ready and waiting.
Doesn't Carl leave?
He's like questioning leaving, but he hasn't left yet.
He needs to be there for his family. He definitely walks outside.
Actually, he does. He does right here. And he said he would have gotten drunk last year, but he's different now.
He needs to be there for his family.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't actually get a shot of him like fully leaving. We get a shot of him walking out the door to a car, but we don't get the car leaving.
Yeah.
So I don't know maybe he needs to quarantine with production. I don't know if maybe he's going to talk to production, but
I don't know.
I think Carl's leaving.
Yeah. Okay, I think he had like a bag in his hand. So yeah, I think he's gone for now.
Okay. Lindsay, bored. Steven's here to get her.
Yay. Hey. We bring her 3 flowers.
Wait, I love Danielle. She's like, where's my camera? I have to take a picture.
I know.
This is me. I love this. This is 1,000% me. I'm prom mom.
Oh my God. This is hilarious.
So they have their outdoor dining arrangement. It's super cute. It's cute.
Yeah, he put the table a little further away from the house. So it's kind of more private.
They could be alone.
Yeah.
Lindsay's face immediately is just less than thrilled.
She's underwhelmed.
But everyone in the house thinks it's so cute. Everyone's like, oh my God, look at that dinner.
Luke is gushing over it. He's like, I love this.
I know. So Steven then tells her, like, I got this food from our special restaurant. And Lindsay's like, oh, you got that place? I forget the name, but she's like, cool. Oh, you got it.
Great.
And this is where I'm like, Lindsay, it's a pandemic. You can only do so much.
And Paige is like the most realistic. She's like, she went outside, looked at it, and was like, this is cute, but this is not what Lindsay wants.
No. The house is totally spying too. They're like looking out. So there's like no silverware, which is just another problem Lindsay has. Her face, this bitch is such a bad fucking liar. Not even pretend to be grateful.
No, she's like, the only thing she's doing is she's just not saying what she's thinking out loud, but it's all over her face.
I'm so scared. Like, I would have hated to be Lindsay's parents when like a grandparent gave Lindsay a horrible gift and Lindsay just like opens and is like, ugh, like her face is so bad. It's so bad.
I agree.
Meanwhile, it's tacos night because we still don't have a stove. Thank you, Summer House, for clearing that up. Kyle, though, he refuses to hang out with Hannah.
He like
will
is
not
stuck
sit.
by Amanda's side while she's cooking.
Yeah, because she's like, you go sit down, and he was like, go sit over there. Fuck no. And I was like, okay, sir, don't get involved. Like, just it's a
Well, he's
girlfriend
like,
fight.
sit next to Hannah? Hell no. It's like, okay, let's go, like calm down. We can still sit next to her.
So then oh my God, when I tell you I cringed out of my outfit, this is what happened.
Oh
Luke
my
walks
God.
upstairs, right? And Sierra and Hannah are sitting on like the top of the couch, and they both look over at him, and Luke says, can I talk to you for a minute? And so Hannah gets up and she's like, I feel like I'm on The Bachelor. And Luke goes, oh no, wait, I meant Sierra. I thought she was she also like looked at me, and Hannah's like,
this is so uncomfortable, because even it's not like Sierra got up and thought it was her either.
No.
It would make sense why Luke was pulling Hannah aside again.
But then everyone's also there to witness this.
It's like, oh,
that's how I feel. But Luke takes Sierra out, gives her the flowers. Basically says he cares about Sierra. He wants to make her smile, but he doesn't know where her head is at. Like, he doesn't want things to be awkward.
Yeah, he apologizes for yelling, like his behavior towards Hannah. And yeah, he talks about like he doesn't want things to be awkward, where they see like things going. And Sierra's like, I'm really excited just to continue our friendship.
Yeah. I really appreciate this, but like, I just want to continue our friendship.
Dagger to the heart.
This was a big fucking rejection.
This is so awkward, because basically this is exactly what Luke did to Hannah.
Yeah.
And now Sierra's doing it to Luke.
Yeah. It was
in his interview, he was like, well, fuck.
Yeah. And this is where he's right. Like, I've always been a ladies' man, but I guess not with Sierra. And I was like, nope.
Oh, God.
Nope. Okay.
I'm shocked here. This is not what I thought was going to happen, to be honest. I didn't think they would like get together until later, but like, I didn't think she was going to like friend zone him so hardcore here.
I mean, she took those flowers though. You do you, girl. I love Sierra. She cracks me up. Okay. So now we're going back to dinner. Is Steven the only one eating?
I didn't really notice. I was confused by this because all the food was in the boxes.
Yeah, it's getting cold. My ass, if you bought me food for my birthday, I'm going to eat that food.
Yeah, and at some point he like starts dumping it out. And she's like, that's fine. Like, she's still pissed. You can see it on Lindsay's face, but it's like awkward getting it out of the box onto the plates. And it's
she goes, oh, fish and chips.
Yes.
I was like, oh no. Okay, so Lindsay asked Steven what his timeline is. And Steven's like, it's been only a year. Keep in mind, he is in his mid to late 20s.
Yes.
He's just happy to be here with Lindsay, and he adores her, and he's going to make a better effort to spend time with her.
Yeah, right? He talks about how far they've come. He's just happy to be the two of them. Look, I think this is really cute, but
this is cute. Again, they're in different stages, right? They have only been to us, right? If we've only been dating someone for a year, don't get me a ring. But Lindsay's got this whole clock going in her head that's like,
she has a legit timeline right now. Like, she is expecting things, and it's like, they're in two different books.
So this is when he's like, is there something wrong? Because she cannot hide her disgust. And she goes, I just have higher expectations for this relationship. And we're just going through the motions. And he's like, going through the motions.
Like, this is the motions?
I had to think about this. Like, going through the motions is shit you don't have to think about, right? He put effort into this. He got her a great present that she hasn't even seen yet. She's already causing a fucking issue.
She was pissed the minute she walked out the door, though. She didn't even give him a chance, in my opinion. I know. And the whole house can hear them arguing, and they're very confused because they're like, they all see the effort Steven has put forward. Yeah.
And she's like, this is something that should happen every other day. And in my head, I'm like, every other day? Jesus.
I know.
Also, Lindsay, what are you doing for him? Okay. Just making him sandwiches? How many times you plan a fucking dinner like this?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, I kind of understand a little bit, somewhat what she's saying here. She said she really wants consistency and like what's going to happen tomorrow. And he tells her, it's not about tomorrow. Like, be present. We're having a great time right here, right now. I understand that she like needs more from him, but like, their talk when she told him like she needs more quality time was just a few days ago. Like,
he's literally giving her nothing but quality time right now.
Can we give it some time, Lindsay, before you say like this, we're not being consistent? Like, you just had that talk maybe 2 or 3 days ago.
You just fought over a sandwich. Like, Give it a second. And this is where Steven is like, wow, we have problems I was not even aware of in this relationship.
No, he says we don't have problems, which I don't think he should have said.
Oh, yeah. And then Lindsay's like,
I'm trying. Why aren't you grateful? We don't have any problems. Like, I'm giving you more time. I'm doing the things. And she's like, we don't have problems?
Oh my God. And then Lindsay's pissed. This is where she just goes from like, this is where she's activated. Remember, don't activate me.
Oh, she's activated here.
And then he's trying to like speak with her about it because she's just yelling. But then she gets mad at him yelling, and she's like, yeah, but you worked really hard and you got me. And he's like, yeah, I know I got you. And she's basically like, but you worked to get me and you have to keep working to keep me. And he's like, what? I took you on like a helicopter ride in Italy and now we're in a global fucking pandemic. What else do you want me to do? Like, listen, I get fighting to get the girl, right? Whatever. Yeah. They were obviously together when they went to Italy. Like, that's amazing. But to me, if you're in a relationship, it has to be equal part. Like, you don't have to keep, like, obviously make them feel fine or whatever, but you don't have to do grand gestures every day to keep that person.
Well, and like you said, what does she do for him?
How mmany sandwiches has she made him? One.
Yeah. I understand she needs more. She needs more quality time. Yeah. I understand that. But she at one point says, your version of good is not good enough for me. Like, oh my God. And are you serious?
He literally says, I can't be that guy all the time, which I was like, yeah, fucking duh. Like,
especially in the life he's living right now. He is so stressed out. He cannot do helicopter ride level of events. Like he does not have the time to plan those types of things.
No. And so Steven's just like, I'm going to leave the house. And he walks away because I agree. This is absolutely ridiculous. And if this isn't a grand gesture, I don't know what is. He put his own life on hold to come to the summer house with her. Like, this is her fucking thing that he's doing for her.
And one thing that pissed me off is she kept being like, oh, it's my fault. It's my fault. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's like a Hannah move.
Blame. Yeah,
that's exactly what Hannah did. Yeah.
Blame. It's what is actually going on and what do we need from each other? And that's fine to discuss. But like, to slam any effort he puts in was like ridiculous.
I know. This is when Sierra's like, I got to order some fucking sage for this house, which I get. The demons in Lindsay's body are insane.
No, out of this whole group. I mean, I feel like the only person who hasn't gotten into a fight is like Paige.
And Carl.
And Poor Danielle.
Carl. Sage the house for Carl.
Those three people are just like in the middle.
Problematic. Those three are just going to go lock themselves in the basement and be like, okay. Yeah. So Steven cleans up and Kyle comes out and he's like, hey man, what's wrong? And Steven's like, I have to leave. Everything I do isn't good enough. And Kyle's the one that's like, this isn't the first time she's fucking done this. So
this is not the first relationship she's sabotaged.
Which we know. And then Lindsay goes to Danielle's room and Lindsay, like the present is there. And Lindsay's like, I don't even give a fuck about the present.
Which this is where, like, oh my God.
This is where I'd be like, oh, I feel bad. He like also got me a present. No, this bitch is like,
no, ungrateful piece of shit.
Because let me tell you, if we're doing a helicopter ride, that's your present. Like, I'm not getting you something on top of that.
Right?
I got time for that.
Yes, I agree. Like, it's the experience I bought you.
Yeah.
That and then probably dinner.
If we're doing dinner, then I'll get you just a present, to add. You only get so much. But Lindsay wants a man she doesn't have to train. She wants someone that anticipates her needs, which I was like, I don't even know my own needs.
I know.
Until it's like
that's
happening.
Not how this works. No. Like his full-time job is not to like cater to you. He has a job and a life too.
Lindsay wants a slave.
Yes.
Honestly.
Like an assistant, Lindsay. Get an assistant.
This is so like when guys, that joke where guys are like, where do you want to eat? And the girl's like, I don't know. And he's like, okay, I'm going to pick McDonald's. And the girl's like, no, I don't want that. Where she's like, yes. I truly do not know what I want. I just know what I don't want. And so like, if you give me something, I'm like, maybe I did want this, like, thanks. I don't even know my own needs. How's Steven going to know anyone's needs? He doesn't even know his own needs.
Do you remember at the start of the season when Kyle said about the Lindsay Hannah fight that like, Hannah loves to piss Lindsay off and Lindsay loves to yell at Hannah. Like Lindsay just likes to yell at people.
Lindsay likes to be angry.
Yeah.
She just likes to be pissed.
She's not happy unless she's unhappy.
This is where Danielle is like, you're asking a lot. And Lindsay's like, I'm trying to save this relationship.
Yeah, Danielle says that
I don't
tonight was
know how.
a Hail Mary for the relationship that Lindsay didn't even realize she was throwing. So why would Steven be able to catch it?
Yeah. That was awesome. That was the best way to describe this.
That was the best line of this entire episode.
Lindsay didn't even know she was doing it. And so is Steven supposed to fucking be there to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. This is not working though. Danielle wants this to end for the fucking sanity of all of us. But Steven's out. He is gonna get an Uber, pack his shit, and be gone.
I was shocked he got an Uber. That made me wonder, did Carl get an Uber? Like, what are we doing here? We're just getting Ubers to this house.
Steven's not coming back. His ass is out. He's not gonna let himself get kicked in the dick over and over. He's out. He's pissed. Yeah. This dude and is Lindsay or
Danielle asks, like, because Lindsay tells Danielle that, like, he said he was going to leave, but they don't know that he's packing his stuff at this moment. And Danielle asks, like, well, what if he actually goes? And Lindsay says he can do whatever the hell he wants. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't even care. So he does. He leaves without saying goodbye.
I would.
And I would. So R.I.P. to Lindsay and Steven's relationship.
Bye, Stravy.
Yeah, goodbye. So next time, we are making the backyard a club. Lindsay finally finds out Steven's gone. And this is where Hannah was in Lindsay's bed. I was like, oh my God. Paige and Kyle and Hannah fight again. Hannah and Kyle fight again. And Amanda is stuck in the middle again. So it's like deja vu we're going to have.
Yikes.
This is exciting. And now we have to accept and block. God, there's so many. Also, we have a lot of thoughts from, if you want to take some time to think about it, Dustin and Jackie gave us all their thoughts.
Oh, okay. Do the thoughts and then we'll do accepted and block.
Okay. Dustin says this episode was a fucking flaming mess. If I'm not mistaken, it takes place in one day. You're right.
Yes.
Poor Carl just wants to grieve, and this house is literally imploding around him with nonsense and petty arguments.
It is.
Yeah.
This is so sad.
You'd think his loss would give everyone perspective, but it seems to be the opposite. Like, people are dying. Who cares if someone apologizes for throwing a shittily throwing a drink at you?
That's the thing. If it had hit Hannah, I think it'd be a way bigger deal. But let's let this go.
It's just the worst. Also, there's literally nothing Steven could have done that Lindsay would have liked, especially after the news she got in the morning. It totally just compounded her insanity.
I told you she was pissed level the minute she walked out of there.
Now, I think dinner was super lame, but I also think he tried.
Yes.
Yeah. Steven's best really is just different from Lindsay's, but that doesn't mean he ain't trying.
Exactly. She gave him zero credit for any of that. That's what's annoying. He could have done more. I think there could have been a little bit more.
The best decision he ever made was to leave the house. You're not wrong. Dustin says, I like how Sierra helped out Steven all day and thought Lindsay was going to like it. She really is clueless about these people. Poor Sierra.
I like Sierra. The fresh perspective. Yeah, that she has no idea anything about these people.
I can't believe they lost 2 cast members in the same day. They're dropping like flies. I think Carl will be back. I think agree. The producers will do everything to get Carl back.
I bet he'll be back for the last 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah. I'm really not liking Kyle. That shit he said to Sierra about Hannah taking her under her wing because she was psycho or some shit was the rudest shit I ever heard.
I agree.
Also, he's always calling the other woman hot. Like, who the fuck does that? Especially around his fucking wife. It drives me crazy. Oh, did he call Sierra hot? Probably. I think that sounds right.
Oh, I don't know.
Kyle's the woat sometimes. He's the best, but the worst. Here's the thing
is, you can bitch to Amanda about a lot of this stuff, but he gets too involved on Amanda and Hannah fights.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like guys who get involved in the girl fights.
Girls, yes, 100%.
If Kyle was somewhat involved in that fight, but not the Amanda-Hannah friendship moment, just let it go. He's more upset than Amanda is.
Yeah. Luke being friend zoned felt like a great response from Sierra. I'm bummed Carl ain't there to pitch hit after Luke struck out, though.
Oh,
I agree.
No, dang, we are going to miss that.
I agree. Okay. He says, also, I think Carl is the hottest dude in the house. Jackie thinks it's Luke. I do not see the charm in Luke at all. He's good looking, but he also feels soft and all that mountain man
Agreed.
Yeah, it's super forced to Dustin. Then
I think Carl has some pretty good casual game. Luke tries to a little harder.
Dustin looks at Carl and the charm just comes off natural.
Yeah.
Like doesn't even have to try. No, I agree. I would probably hook up with Carl if I was in the summer house. Like I would make out with him in the pantry. I would do
I agree. I think it's fun and flirty, whereas like Luke is just too intense.
Okay, so Dustin says he's gonna block Kyle.
Okay.
And he's gonna accept Carl.
Okay.
Which I think is great. I
like those options.
Okay.
I like
so
them.
Now,
10 out of 10.
Jackie. She has mixed feelings about Lindsay in this episode. She felt bad that her day was ruined about Carl's brother dying. And now those two events will be linked. Jackie always thinks about when it happens to people. It's rough. Jackie says her mom and dad told them they were getting a divorce on Valentine's Day, less than a year into her marriage. And now she remembers that forever. Oh no, Jackie. No. Plus her dinner was a less nice version of Kyle's. Yeah,
it was.
And why didn't he plan a house party like the two they had already? Yeah, I mean, I guess Kyle also had roller skating.
Yeah, I don't really think that was his though.
Steven's useless. We all know it.
I think that was just like
he's a 26-year-old that's not engaged.
Here's the thing. Steven just needed, honestly, one of the people to serve them, like to make it more like a restaurant. It was just like they got takeout and sat in the backyard. He needed to like do the extra things. Like have someone plate it and like bring it to them and wait on them a little bit. Like he didn't need to go to the nines that like Amanda did, but a little more.
I feel in my gut he's a dud. Call it lady sense or something, but he never felt right to me. I don't think he's right for Lindsay. Like that, I never got that vibe. But anyone who puts up with Lindsay, to me, fucking saint.
I agree. I think he kind of slightly is a dud. I agree with that a little bit.
Like, I wouldn't date him.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not into it.
Yeah. Jackie's heart broke for Carl. It's horrible. And she agrees with Dustin. Maybe don't fight about petty shit when someone dies. I agree. Lindsay needs to put some fucking clothes on. Or she says frickin', but I'm going to change it to fucking. Way too naked. Attention much? Yes. Dustin doesn't think Steven's a dud. He's just not right for Lindsay. That's more what I think. I think Steven's fine for like a low maintenance girl. Right. Steven on a low maintenance girl would be great. Like Sierra, I think obviously not those two, but I think Sierra's lower maintenance.
Personality. Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
I see what you're saying.
Lindsay's just insane. I don't know anyone I would put
outside of the pandemic. It seems like he is good with grand gestures. It's just.
We're in a pandemic. Lindsay.
I think it's
Get
the
yourself
pandemic.
Together. Dustin says, oh, Lindsay's the worst. The only reason I love my birthday is because I get to have fun with my friends. Like every April, I know my friends are going to have fun no matter how shitty the last 12 months are. We always do something and it's always a good time for everyone. My B-Day and about me. And Lindsay's B-Day is just about Lindsay and her friends and everyone else bowing down to her. It's so self-centered. I agree.
That is exactly how I look at birthdays too. I want to spend time with my friends. Like I want it to be a fun time for everyone.
That's it. That's it, Dustin. That's why we hate Lindsay and her birthday. You fucking got it. Hell yeah.
We hate people who love their birthdays. Sorry. Also, if any of the listeners are those people.
It's not us. But he does agree that Lindsay's dress was a little
too much.
Not great. Okay. So now we have to accept and block.
On that Lindsay train, I'm blocking Lindsay. Just
oh my God, that's what I'm doing too. Or I just can't block anyone else.
I can't because insane. Like I think Carl's fucking annoying, but Kyle. Kyle's just super annoying this episode. So if like Lindsay's birthday thing hadn't happened, I totally would be up the Kyle train. But Lindsay is just this is the part that I hate about her. She brings good drama to the show, but these are the things I'm like, you are so annoying. She's
just legitimately just the worst. Like I couldn't be friends with her. I don't know how Danielle does it.
No.
I don't because I think Danielle is so level-headed and just like down to earth. And Lindsay is just a nightmare person in my opinion.
And I don't understand how Danielle like kind of like pretends to like be on the same page as Lindsay because she's clearly not.
If there's a camera, are you gonna put your best self out there? Like Lindsay
Right?
is this her best self? What is she like behind closed doors? I'm so scared.
Ugh, I don't
Oh
know.
no. Okay, we have to accept. Oh my God, there's so many people I want to accept.
Um,
But I think I have mine.
who are you gonna do?
I think I just need to give it to Carl. I think he handled it very well. I know it was hard.
Yeah.
I think it's hard also that no one in this fucking house seemed to like get their life into perspective.
There was just yelling all around him as he's
And
crying.
I think it's a hard decision to decide to leave, but I know Carl just loves his mom and he just has to be there for her, for Sharon.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, I'm gonna do someone different just to
let's spice it up.
mix it up. I am going to accept Luke.
Ooh.
I think, him making up with Hannah, like they seem like they're in a really great place now. They have clear boundaries. They both know they're just friends, but can still have that great relationship and connection they've talked about.
Yeah.
They're the type that are like, let's get out of here. Let's clear our head with some tennis and get out of Dodge. Like there's just so much happening in this house. He did not get in any fights. He gave Lindsay some flowers for her birthday, which was really sweet, and tried to mend things with Sierra. I mean, they're friendship wise, they're mended, but unfortunately got the friend zone out of it.
Yeah, I appreciate him apologizing. I think he's learned a nice lesson, especially because Sierra gave him the no.
Yeah, well, I feel like he actually is a nice guy, and everybody has their moments. Listen, nobody handles everything perfectly, but I love that like he knows when he's screwed up and he can like sit there and apologize correctly. I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it was great. It's great.
I'm excited for this next episode because I want Lindsay to freak out over Steven leaving.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited to see what happens there. I'm excited to see Paige and Hannah. I'm excited to see. I want to know what Carl's deciding, if the house knows he left, because I barely knew if he left or not.
Well, he made a comment to Kyle, so I'm sure Kyle knows.
I'm excited for this fight that's about to happen. Another Paige, Kyle, Hannah, and Amanda.
Yes. Yeah, because Paige gets pissed at Kyle, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think Kyle yells at her again.
I think so.
Kyle, stop yelling.
He's a dick to Amanda's friends.
I'm excited just to see Sierra have to deal with this and again go, oh my effing God. Like, just be like, this would be me. In the summer house, I'd be like, this is happening again. All these people are older than me. This is still fucking happening.
He's like, what is happening?
Like if we were in the summer house, this would be us. We'd be like, if we weren't fans, we'd be like, it's fucking happening again. Like, I'm just trying to
I don't know. I feel like I'd be Paige.
You'd be in on it. Yeah. You'd be in on it. You'd be like Amanda, just saying one comment and then getting in the fight and throwing a drink. And like, fuck you.
My family are big, like whenever we communicate, we're big yellers, but we all just move on the next day.
Yeah, no, you're like a Hannah in conflict.
No, I feel like I'm the Luke, where it's like you have this big fight, like he had that big blow up with Hannah, and then the next day it's like, okay, I'm sorry, shouldn't have spoke to you like that. Let's move on.
I'm a nice mix of Hannah and Amanda. Like let's not fight, but also like we can move on, but we're gonna need to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to discuss. I'm probably a Danielle. If I have to see myself in someone, it's Danielle at this point. I love her. She's useless and I love her.
I love it.
Okay, this was a good episode. This was fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks for listening. We love you guys more than Amanda loves Hannah.